Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I have my big fear list, and then I have my small fear list, and that's lower for me.
Yeah.
I will say, though, a lot of things have been moved onto that big fear list this week, if I'm going to be honest.
Ooh, fun. A little bit of a rearranging, perhaps, in the fear list.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should make a tier list, but for your fears.
And I'll just send it to my therapist as my, that as one of the slides to my PowerPoint introduction for new therapists.
Right. We go live on twitch.tv/Into the Twilight and make a fucking tier list of your fears.
Yeah, S tier, abandonment. Birds, also probably pretty high.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's pasta, probably also like mid.
Probably mid, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable.
Running into Stephenie Meyer when she's learning more about Washington State, high.
High, so high.
Very high. Having to be in a room while E.L. James reads me her new sexy writing, very high.
Yep.
But those are the fun ones, you know, not the ones that I save for my therapist.
Yeah, not like the real trauma,
Right.
you know.
Not the ones that are like sad.
Yeah.
Those ones are just like the fun, you know, just like the fun jokes.
I would argue there's enough fun fears to fill out a tier list.
Oh my God, 100%.
I think your mind is capable of so many joke fears that are actually real.
I would argue that my brain is only filled with those.
This is also true.
When I look at the little file folders in my brain, I think almost all of them are fears.
Yeah.
Welcome to Into the Fearscape. I'm
Ooh.
Jigsaw, and that's I don't know another. That's Michael Myers.
Great. Cool.
Great. How are you?
I'm here. I'm living.
Thank God.
I'm vibing. We got that good Saturday energy here with us today.
Yeah.
The spirit of Saturday is here in the room with us today. One could say. I've been watching a lot of shows, as you know.
What?
And I have one that I think maybe got a little bit under the radar, but it just finished, so it's perfect to binge, perhaps.
It's called Glee.
Right. Could you imagine if I fucking brought up Glee? Y'all heard of this? This underseen gem, Glee? No, I'm not recommending Glee, and I never will. No, absolutely not. I'm talking about Next Level Chef.
What the fuck is this?
Exactly. Thank you. It's a show that just finished. It is Fox's new competition cooking show.
Oh, Cody's up Gordon Ramsay's ass again.
Listen, I'm never not up Gordon Ramsay's ass, and you know that, okay? First of all. Second of all, I like to appreciate he's doing a little new venture, even though there's one lost mystery season of MasterChef Junior that we're just never going to see. Besides that...
Fucking keeps you up at night.
I'm sweating all the time. Where is it? These kids are probably like 15 now. Please, just get in the win. Okay, let me tell you about Next Level Chef.
Please.
We got Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
We got fucking the dude from Top Chef, Richard Blais. We also got, I think her name's Aisha.
We have one woman.
Right, we have one woman. But it is a competition, not just for the contestants, but for the judges themselves, too.
Oh,
so they build teams, much like The Voice. They're all split into different categories. Like, they have professional chefs, they have home chefs, and they have, like, social media chefs. All
okay.
on the same little thing. And they, like, draft teams, essentially, and do all these different challenges. But what is even cooler about this is the whole actual concept of how they do cooking is completely different. Like, they built this giant fucking, essentially this building of 3 floors with a fancy little elevator in them. One at the top is the best place you could cook. It has everything you could possibly need. It's very nice, whatever. And then the middle and then the bottom is like the worst, right? You have like a little shittier of a situation as you go down. So there's 3 little. And they also have this moving little food elevator of drops. So like they have all the ingredients there. The people at the top get it first. They like run to this moving platter, grab everything they get. They have like 30 seconds or some shit. And then it goes down. And then and whatever's left, the other people have to like go and grab.
This sounds cool as fuck.
It's so cool. And like, it's just like a totally different, like I'm a sucker for any of those food reality shows, but this is the only one that's like, actually, what if we changed the form? What if we just built a whole new weird structure?
Right.
And made a whole show based on that?
Yeah, what if we took fucking Chopped and America's there's one on Food Network about like home chefs, but then we also mixed it with Ninja Warrior. Like, this is so cool looking.
Exactly. Yeah, it's awesome.
Whoa. I feel like, honestly, now that I see the promotional image, that I saw a billboard for it, and that's not how you promote these cool things to me.
Yeah. I will say, too, it has the worst intro of any television show I've ever seen in a long time. It's like you can tell that Gordon Ramsay's like, I want us to look so cool. And it's like them just like posing in front of this big building or whatever, and all these glass windows, and everything's like black and white, but also like selective color. It's awful. It's so bad. And like the text is terrible. Like the actual logo of it is bad.
Sweet. I'm so excited now.
Yes. Hell yeah. Cool. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing. I'm very tired, but this is, and I feel like if I went back each year at around this time, I would have said the same thing. But we are now hitting the time here in Washington where we are having 6 o'clock sunsets, and which means that I actually don't have depression anymore. According to the weather, I actually can toss out my antidepressants. I don't need them. I'm good now.
Yeah, throw them away. Don't eat them. Flush them down the toilet.
The fish can have them. I missed sunlight so desperately, and I'm getting to the point where like the next 6 months I can feel happy again because there's light, which is nice. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Contrary to that, I'm bringing a very sad and stressful show to the space as my happy thing.
Yes, you are. Yeah, it says a lot about you and what you consider happy.
But I love it so much. So here's the thing. I heard about the show about a month ago, I think is when I started watching it.
Yeah.
When it was brought to my attention that this was a show on Apple TV called Severance, and it was from the dark, twisted mind of Ben Stiller, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, my boy, Blue Steel, Ben Stiller. And then I watched the first episode, and I had a mini crisis because what I realized is that Ben Stiller and I have the same exact mind of things that really kind of fuck us up.
Yeah.
Have been trying to figure out how to get the most out of my Apple TV subscription now that Ted Lasso is, like, not here. And there's been some. Severance is hard to explain.
Yeah.
The best way that I can try to explain it is like, what if the work that you did at your job was so fucked up that instead of just having like an NDA, your job really kind of like gave you dissociative personality disorder? Like, you had a work persona and an outside of work persona, and those two did not remember each other.
Yes.
There's like 4 episodes now, and it's so stressful and so sad to watch, but it's incredibly compelling. Each episode is like not going where I thought it was. Like, I thought I had it figured out and I didn't, which I love. And I'm just like, ah.
It's like such a smart, because there's so many shows about like, you know, capital C capitalism, right? And like big bad, and like how technology is changing things and stuff. Very Black Mirror-esque, right?
Yes.
But I think like this is the first one since that sort of boom or whatever that feels actually like we're having reasonable conversations about like expectations of work and labor and you know, obedience to your job and loyalty to your job, and like how that can also be a thing of a poor way of addressing trauma by just unplugging for 8 hours every day in a different vehicle, or doing work for a large thing that you have no idea what it even is or what it's doing.
Right. And I think that's the thing that I love this show. I love it so much. And one of the things that it immediately reminded me of when I started watching it was Devs.
Yeah.
Because I loved that show. I loved it so much, and I had worked for the company it was referencing. But and I was so in it, and then it didn't stick the landing.
Yeah.
Which bummed me out, and I'm hoping and praying that like Severance sticks the landing here. But I think what's so interesting to me about Severance too is like Ben Stiller seems like very intentionally got a lot of like comedy actors for this.
Yeah.
And so to see someone specifically like Adam Scott like play just someone who is so like broken is incredibly interesting. And then like of course like Patricia Arquette, right?
Right.
Who the last
so
thing
good.
I saw was in The Act, so I'm like very scared of her now.
Yes.
But there's some moments in this where it's like genuinely funny, which is incredibly jarring because of everything that's in this show. So I would definitely give it a shot. Just because I find the concept of it incredibly compelling.
Yes.
The idea of like, it takes this idea of work-life balance and then just completely throws it on its head.
Yeah, for sure. It's
I
very
love.
smart in how it does that.
Yeah, so good. I'm so excited to see where it keeps going too. We just have a little bit of current events this week.
Yeah, a little platter.
Just a little bit. All of which, unsurprisingly, is still focused on the Batman.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us about this first piece?
Absolutely. I cannot stress enough that this is not an ad.
It is not. No, we were not paid. We were not asked to do this.
We were not paid for this, but friend of the show, Super Yaki, is doing Robert Pattinson merch.
I'm dying.
It is a little out of time, though, because by the time you listen to this, it will not be available anymore. But if you're a patron, maybe you can still get it. So
For our patrons.
their twisted and beautiful, delicious minds have made Robert Pattinson themed shirts and shorts.
I love them so much.
But in the fucking My Chemical Romance font. And it is the best thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
When I saw this, and again, I cannot emphasize that we are not getting paid for this.
Not at all.
Which is why it's so fucking off the cuff. But like, when I saw the font, the titular font, I almost passed out. Because I was like, this is exactly it. This is Robert in a nutshell.
Right.
And then when I clicked in on the collection and I saw the shorts, I was like, well, okay, I'm going to need those, actually.
Yeah.
It just makes me giggle.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think personally the only thing that would have made me laugh is just a little tiny pasta somewhere.
Just a little. Ooh,
Just
that'd be
a
so
l-
good.
Just a little tiny, if it was on the shirt, just like inside near the armpit, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, just a little fun, you know? If we were designers at Super Yankee, that's what we would do.
But I'm so grateful because even though we have done an ad for them, I love Super Yaki. I love the stuff that they put out.
We stand.
And so to see this just made me very happy. And I hope that they come out with more stuff that we can talk about on the show because I love it.
Yeah.
Other things that I love to see is Wonderland Magazine.
God, do I ever love to see this.
I love talking about talented people, and I also love to talk about beautiful people.
Yes.
It is a pleasure when those are the same.
Right.
And this cover issue for Wonderland is truly, like, I wish that I could have it blown up and in my home.
Yeah, this photo, they've had a lot of great photo shoots, right? That we've talked about pretty extensively. And they keep just raising the stakes. And I love it. This one is like, this is museum. This is horny bisexual rights for everyone.
And it's not even just like the way that they're posed together, like the angles, the face, but also the Wonderland itself, like the little bat in the corner.
Yeah.
The little glitter, the little like star sparkles. It's just like,
it's so cute.
I would love to have this in my home. Every photo that I've seen of them recently have been beautifully styled.
Yeah.
And has been wonderfully shot. But there's something about this one that, even though it is like immensely posed, feels natural, and that's us.
Yeah.
That's an immense talent to have.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it's just, it annoys me. Like, fuck you two, honestly.
It's honestly fucked up.
You two piss me off. Oh, God.
How dare you?
I don't know that we have talked about this, but we are going to be reviewing the Batman.
Yes.
But when it comes out digitally.
Yeah. So you'll just have to wait a little bit. Not too long.
Not too long.
Yeah.
And now that was something that we had decided prior to the surge pricing occurring, which I'm honestly
Yes.
for. So
Right. Honestly, kind of worked out for us.
because in order for us to have it up for what would be today's showing, we would have had to pay like an extra $50, and it's like, for whom? For
Right.
why?
For whom's? For Matt Reeves.
Why would I do that? No, thank you. We had a very important piece of news that was sent to us by my mom, Kelly Beck.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
Who is doing the Lord's work of keeping up on Taylor Lautner's Instagram.
And like, thank God, because we are not doing that.
No,
I refuse. That's not my job.
Earlier this week, Taylor Lautner posted for 1.5 million views. And it was captioned, "Enjoy this before I take it down." Homeboy has not taken this down. It looks like security footage of him and Taylor, his fiance, at home.
The other Taylor.
Right, Taylor squared. They're both there at home, and Taylor grabs a dog toy and he's playing with his dog, and just so happens to accidentally swing the dog toy in a fucky direction and hits himself. In the nards.
Just classic dude stuff.
Just
Love
dude
guys
stuff,
being dudes.
right?
Just guys being dudes.
Yeah, and he does just fucking drop to the ground like immediately. So this is great.
That's comedy right there. Yeah.
It's good comedy. So thank you, Kelly, for sending that over. I appreciate your journalism work for us.
Yes, absolutely. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the hard investigative work that we so appreciate.
Yeah.
When we last left off with Vampire Academy, we were in hardcore trial mode.
Yes, it was Court City, baby.
We were in it. We had lots of testimonies. I remember at the end there were hugs, there were champagne poppers.
Yes.
There were weirdly also jalapeno poppers.
Right. Yeah, vampires famously love jalapeno poppers. Not a lot of people are saying this, but
yeah, they actually subsist off of blood and jalapeno poppers. And then Lissa found out from the Queen that she is going to go to college and then come here to the court for fancy government lessons like a nerd.
right. Yeah, like a loser.
like a loser. And then Rose also went in to talk to Tatiana the Queen, and the end of the chapter was something like the Queen being like, "Rose, you harlot, stop fucking my great nephew."
You better cut that shit out.
Yeah. And then it was just a hard end to the
Hard
chapter.
stop.
Yeah. So that's what I remember. Where are we starting off at?
Chapter 15, we are immediately picking up from that very abrupt ending, one could say.
Right.
Because Rose is obviously confused, right? She's
Sure.
like, I thought we were having, because you had such a good convo with Lissa, I thought maybe we would have some nice rapport. Maybe like I would be, cool guardian here at the royal court. Like I thought this would be kind of like a fun situation. I feel a little bit not in my element here. What did you say? And
Yeah, I thought
the Queen
we'd be
is
making
just
arrangements or something.
right. I thought we'd be doing plans, and Queen is like, "Do you think I'm an idiot? Like, do you think I don't see what's going on between you two?"
Right.
And Rose is like, there's nothing like happening. Like Adrian, yeah, he like hugged me while we were all hugging each other post this, and he is very flirty,
Right.
but we're not like doing anything. And the queen is just like, excuse you, this is my nephew. How dare you? We can't have this royal blood be, canoodling with some lowly Dampier, Absolutely not.
She even has the audacity to be like, Rose, I know about you.
Your reputation, You have all these, troubling things like drinking and relationships with men and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, and she was just like, oh, I could very easily just like drop you off and send you to one of those quote unquote blood whore communes. Which, like, ma'am, hello?
Ma'am, please.
Ma'am. First of all, she's a minor.
So,
and also, she got drunk one time, maybe two times,
right.
Once with Adrian, and nothing has ever happened with like anyone. Rose consistently says that she's a virgin. She's not gonna say it to her because she's like, that's not gonna help. That's not, I don't, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna put that in there.
She has a temporary tattoo that says like a virgin on her. So I
right,
don't understand.
Right. She's like, I am a virgin who can't drive. This is just my brand.
For real.
And she like threatens Rose of being like, this, I could like make arrangements and like, so you're not Lissa's guardian, essentially. Like if you keep fucking up, which is a huge deal. Because
so rude.
Obviously they're, first of all, incredibly rude. Second of all, they have a very special connection. They've been planning.
Like they're gay. Don't.
Don't push them away. They're gay for each other. They love each other.
They love each other. They're bonded. Stop.
They're bonded. Miss Queen, come on. And she's just doing all this shit about like, well, Lissa actually has a future, We can have her with someone much more suited and like, not like you, who's just like, yeah.
Which, like, we find out next chapter is Miss Queen is being a fucking hypocrite.
Turns out.
Actually, she's like, royals don't, she's like, the royals, like, might fuck around with the Hampiers, but, like, they don't keep them around,
Right.
Like, that's not, they don't keep them around forever. And, like, we don't know if Tatiana's, like, married or something. Mm-hmm. But, like, we find out next chapter that, like, girl,
she's full of shit, turns out.
She's full of shit.
Yeah.
God, she pisses me off.
Yeah.
This fucking queen. She annoys me.
Yeah.
She also name drops Rose's dad, which we didn't know his name.
Yeah.
Yet.
Like, fucked up. To be like, hey, let's not make this personal. And, like, obviously a lot of, like, tensions there that, haven't really been talked about, okay?
Yeah, Tatiana was like, oh yeah, and your fucking dad, Ibrahim. And she's like, what? like,
excuse?
Also, I love her Rocher for the kind of like, what was that? Like a slant rhyme? They just sound nice together. Janine and Ibrahim. Like, can you imagine that wedding announcement?
Oh my God, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, may I announce to you. I will say, too, nice. There is a lot of shit-talking of Christian, too, in here.
For real!
Which,
she's
like,
so
rude,
mean.
First of all. She's, like, very, and we've known this, like, her whole conversation with Lissa earlier of, like, this seems to be very set in their ways and, like, upholding this very archaic structure of royalty
classism.
And, blood and bloodlines and whatever. Like, a bunch of fucked up shit, right? And her whole thing is, like, well, you got to stop fucking around with Adrian because Adrian should be with Lissa. That's a good partnership. Like,
gross.
That would be good for maintaining both of their bloodlines and their royal status and whatever. Like, and then she'll be here in the royal court, and we'll have time to, like, facilitate something like that, whatever. And Rose is like, whoa, wait a minute. She's, like, with Christian right now. So, like,
they're,
that's
like,
not
fucking each other. So
they're like
doing?
they're macking all the time, always. Everyone can't stop talking about how they're always just kissing each other.
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, well, that's not really gonna work. That never is gonna work because there's a curse on his name, and everyone judges them, and Lissa's gonna get the same speculation, and it will be terrible when she's actually working in like royal politics and have to like have all these questions and like whatever, speak about herself and justify herself and all that shit. Which, like, okay, weird.
Especially because, like, so it mainly, the way that she's describing it is there's obviously judgment about the fact that his family went Strigoi.
Right.
And then also, it seems like there's a judgment about, like, her family is, like, quote, more royal than his family or whatever.
Right. They have these, like, little hierarchies, I guess, within the royal family, which we know about. But, like, because of that as well, and Christian's whole thing, like, they are considered a lower class of royal, I guess. Like, there's a different hierarchy of, you know, the Dragomirs and, you know, the Ivashkovs and all these other people that are like, these are royals, okay? We're the royals. So if we want to keep this going, you can't just muck it up with Christian and ruin that Dragomir bloodline when there's only one left. Like, it's fucked up, you know?
It is. And especially since we know that I'm pretty sure that the actor playing Christian in the TV show is Asian.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to be, like, more overt with the way that this discrimination has, like, racist tones to it.
Yeah,
which I hope, like, because it's very obvious. Well, I mean, like, it's pretty obvious that this discrimination isn't just like a hierarchy within here. Like, there's more to it.
There are other layers. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I hope that they in the TV show kind of highlight that as well, because she even says, like, at one point she's like, he is not like us, and it's like, say what you mean,
like, be honest, don't be shy. You can just say it with your full chest.
But it's very obvious, like, what I got from this anyways is that the queen is like, you need to back off because I have like, I'm trying to, like, move my chess pieces right now. And Rose is not part of those chess pieces. Like, none of the current plans are going to work with that.
Yeah.
And the queen is very comfortable just kind of, like, leaving Rose out in the dust.
Right.
To make those happen. Which,
like, boo. Don't love that.
No.
Big boo.
Yeah. It's not good. Especially because the queen was like, okay, so I said my piece, bye. I'm just going to walk out. All right,
get the fuck out.
You.
Yeah. Right. It's like, I'm leaving.
Fuck.
Like, okay, damn, jeez. Rose didn't even get to, like, sit down or nothing. Just
no,
like,
she's been
getting verbally assaulted. Fucked up.
God.
So Rose, like, gets out of there and is like, yeah, I could do some gossip and say all the whack shit that I just heard, but I'm just gonna, like, sit on this and just maybe process it, which is, like, the first time we've really had Rose maybe process anything as this immediately of being like, let's just think on it, you know, let's just not go straight into talking shit and fueling the fire, whatever, which growth maybe perhaps a little bit.
But also it means that Rose doesn't get a chance to, like, verbally process with anyone,
right? But also she doesn't get actually an outlet to talk to anyone about the actual pain that she's feeling, because she does immediately deflect it too when Lissa's like, hey girl, what's up? How was the queen? How did you hang it? Like, what was it as good as my meeting? And then she was like, yeah, for sure. Totally. Lissa was just talking about how great and cool my Strigoi kills were, and how sick that was. So nothing else to talk about, let's keep going.
Let's go explore.
Let's go explore the royal court. You know, we have a few hours before our plane. Let's just vibe. Let's get a little tour, perhaps.
I will say Lissa had very cute intentions with this, though.
Yes.
Seeing as their plane was delayed for a little bit, and Lissa was like, you know what? You've been working really hard.
Yeah.
So let's just take care of you. Let's just treat ourselves.
Yeah, let's just have like a fun little moment together. Just gals, you know?
Yeah. Because it was very clear, Rose started to pick up that Lissa was hiding something from her.
Yeah.
And she couldn't figure out what, because Lissa was like, I'm not going to think about it.
Nope.
And it seemed like initially that what Lissa was hiding was this, like, spa day that they were going to have.
Right.
And
which cute.
Love that.
Yeah. She's like, let's just do girl stuff. Let's have a cute little spa day. You deserve it. You work so hard.
Hell yeah.
Go off,
I love
queen.
that. Especially because Lissa was like, so you've been working really hard. You've just had your head down, got all this stuff. I got us massages. And bless Rose.
Rose
being
is
like-
so cute in this moment.
I love her so much for being like, no, actually, no massage.
Right.
I would
She's
like
the-
a manicure.
Yeah, like this whole time, Liz is going this whole tired of being like, this is like the best massages ever. We're gonna feel like so good. Your button muscles are gonna be like so untense and free. And then in the middle of that, she's like beaming and stuff, and it just Rose is just like, nails. She's like, what? It's like, I want my nails done. Can we do nails? And this is like, oh, I got this like a hour massage, but we can shuffle things around. I guess it's fine. And it's so cute because she's like this whole. We also like harken back on that whole makeup conversation we had in the last few chapters of her being like, yeah, I never really get to like get glammed up or dressed up or anything, and like these nails will be useless in days, but like it would be nice to just have like a little thing right now.
Aww.
To just like have it there and like feel a little glamorous, and it's like, oh,
It's so cute.
yeah,
And there's so much about this too where Lissa isn't kind of starting to understand Rose for not really the first time, but like what she's been going through.
Right.
And it's cute because Rose is able to see herself through Lissa's eyes and is like, damn, like she thinks I'm like really pretty. And which like, but it was more of a, like an admiration. And it was just a very cute moment for them. Especially, I love that Rose picked out just like the gaudiest,
you're right, just gold
glitteriest
glittery
color, knowing that like the color didn't matter. Like she knew that it wasn't gonna last long anyways, but it was more that like she got to spend time taking care of herself, and that was the part that mattered.
Right. Yeah, it's very sweet.
I love it. It was so cute.
Yeah, so the nails are done. They're looking glamorous. They still have a little bit of time for this massage. It's not a full body massage. They're like, let's just do a quick little foot massage.
Yeah, fuck it.
Just so like we'll get little ropes, you know, we'll just like sit down, relax, feel a little like pampered, taken care of, right?
Right.
But it turns out Lissa has brought a friend.
Yeah.
Or knows
Lissa-
of a friend.
I bless Lissa for her intentions here.
Yeah.
But brought someone with the same name as Rose.
Right, Ambrose. Come on.
Ambrose.
Okay.
Rose.
The bro version of Rose. Yeah, bro Rose.
Literally. Lissa, on the other hand, has a woman doing her foot massage here. And
Yeah.
Rose is literally like so enamored with her nails that she hasn't even noticed who is doing her foot massage.
Right.
She finally looks down and is like, oh God, like there's this beautiful man.
This hunky man with curly black hair and muscles everywhere is
Everywhere.
Ferrero Rocher's verbiage here.
And she thought that like initially he was human.
Right, because he had like bite marks on his neck and was like, oh, he's a feeder. Like he's just a human feeder
Right.
that works here or like has some connection here and is also just a very good masseuse. Right.
Right. His role is to be pretty and to massage and then also to feed here.
Right. And so, like,
Sure.
he starts just trying to strike up some flirty conversation. In the middle of this, though, Lissa is putting thoughts into Rose's head.
Not being
like-
helpful.
Yeah, not being helpful. And being like, he's very cute. Also, he is Tatiana's personal masseuse.
Personal.
So, when I say personal, wink, 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 there are things going on here. And which this interaction is very funny because Rose literally can't do shit here.
Yeah.
She's literally just getting her foot massage, and she's also being very, very self-conscious about her feet because she's like walking around all the time, you know. It's just
Right.
like she's down bad. She's like, I'm very self-conscious. This very attractive dude is just like touching my feet. Don't like that.
And like
Meanwhile-
checking out her calves.
checking out my calves, making very flirtatious commentary. Also, Lissa is just like mind melding into me of thoughts and gossip, and I can't do that back because this is a one-way situation
This is
of
the
how
opposite
this bond
of
works.
relaxing.
So I'm just like, she's just like sitting there being like, I don't know what, there's too much information overload. I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Right. And Lissa is not aware that the conversation that I just came out of with the queen was like, stop fucking my family. So,
Right.
like,
So there's a lot of things going on here.
so she gets wind of the fact that like that her personal masseuse is touching me, then like what is going to happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And then Rose realizes, because she's kind of being more curt in these conversations with Ambrose, like not really playing into the flirting aspect of it. Well, this is like, come on, just like give a little, come on, try. He's so
Talk
cute,
to the
whatever.
NBC. See what happens.
Right, see what happens. And notices like the way that he's talking about like fighting and training and stuff that like would make her like, you know, calves and body like be taken care of or whatever, is like pretty textbook kind of words, like pretty intense, like you would know this if you were maybe training to be a guardian, right? And then she realizes, oh, you're not human or like a blood, you know, I mean, you always start with a blood person, but like you're not human, you are a Hampier. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, like you're not just a feeder.
Right. Bro.
Bros, you're a Hampier, which is awkward.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because I think she did not realize that men Hampiers were like feeder. Like that's not really a thing.
Right. Yeah. And also she's like, in this next chapter, chapter 16, she's like, yeah, well, most of us like become guardians. And like, especially the men do. So I kind of just assumed like you wouldn't be like this, you know, in this situation.
Right, of course.
That's not usually how it goes.
And I thought that it was interesting too that like the way that Ferrero Rocher is writing him reminds me a lot of God, I always forget his name. Hold on just one moment. This is so annoying. He's the love of my life, but I always forget him. Oh, Finnick.
Finnick Odair, yes.
Yeah, because the way that she describes him of like, well, like I didn't want to like run off and bail on guardian training, but like I didn't want to fight Strigoi, so I did this. Like,
right. This was just my choice, you know.
Yeah. And like I, you know, now I work with the royals and like I get secrets, and I was like, oh, that's you're Finnick.
Right, literally.
Got it.
It's like, got it.
Got it. You're beautiful.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
You're charming.
Little pool boy. Yeah, okay.
Right.
I
Okay,
see.
gotcha.
All right.
I understand.
Okay.
But Rose is like, you don't want to, I don't understand. Why would you not do that? I don't get it. Like,
right. Like, is this a better life? And he's like, yeah, it actually seems pretty sick. Like, you know, I'm getting to massage some beautiful women, sleep in a sick bed. Don't have to like live that terrible guardian life. I'm chilling, you know.
Yeah. And like one of the things I thought was interesting too is he mentions that the people who he faces the most discrimination against aren't actually the Moroi, it's the other Hampiers.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of infighting, a lot of judgy shit, which is
He
kind
just
of what Rose is
fucking looks at
doing.
her.
Yeah, it's like unlike like some people here.
Right.
And also he does have a little moment where he's like, yeah, and like, you know, the bites and stuff aren't that bad. They're actually pretty neat. And Rose just has to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Anyway.
That's never happened to me. Anyway, next question. I'm definitely not turned on by it all the time. Next.
Right, anyways.
And then Ambrose is like, hey, while we're here, you want to meet my psychic friend?
Ambrose is literally me.
Ambrose is just working the room here. I appreciate it. I love it. And
The rest of this chapter, folks, caught me so fucking off guard.
yeah, we're getting into tarot shit right now. Get ready.
My worlds started blending in ways that I did not expect.
Right.
When we go to this psychic named Eve.
Eve. Everyone's like, don't do it. She's wild.
I think Eve
Oh,
is
or-
the other manicurist. And
Yes.
Eve was like, please don't do please
don't.
Please don't
Please
take the
don't.
princess to the psychic.
Meanwhile, they're still like, they have like a flight to catch at some point. So that's
Yep,
just still in the
they
back
do.
of everyone's mind while this is happening.
Yeah. It's
And also we find out too that like in addition to things like ghosts, psychics are not as widely believed outside of like the spirit sort of connotation, which is still like a underground, not as really invested in trait or whatever, power. So there's like a similar kind of vibe of like, do we believe in this, you know, quote unquote mumbo jumbo from the vampire's perspective? Like, which is an interesting thing. Like where the lines are drawing in these sands for the vampires is interesting.
and I think that's why Lissa wanted to go, is like they had
Right.
very previously, and we didn't know this, but they had previously learned that these ideas of fantasy, like psychics and fortune tellers, were thought to be professions for spirit users. And so they were
Right.
like, fuck
Yes.
yeah, let's go.
Let's do
meet
it. Let's
another
figure it
spirit
out.
user.
Yeah.
So they were like, fuck this massage.
Fuck
Let's
this massage.
just
I'm
go.
out. Let's get our little robes. Just walk over
Yeah.
to him.
And they meet Rhonda,
Rhonda.
the psychic.
Yes. Who is Ambrose's aunt,
Yes.
which is very cute.
Rose also thinks is very weird because apparently Hampiers don't usually like know a lot of their family.
Right. Especially like their extended like Moroi-ish family or like royal-ish
Yeah.
kind of family. Like there's not as the same connection, I guess.
Yeah. It is worth noting that Rhonda is Romani.
Yes.
And Rose is not is very blunt in asking
Yeah.
that. So she's like, well, I'm Romani and I'm also Moroi. So let's just
Right.
let's just do
Let's
this
get
work
to
shit.
it. Yeah. Please don't use
Thank-
slurs at me. Thank you.
Please don't call me a slur. Thank you, Rose. Anyways. This Cody,
Yeah. How do you feel about this reading, Allie?
I can't tell based on what I see here.
In the cards.
So in the cards, because so when Ambrose came in, he was like, so my aunt Rhonda, here is Princess Valissa, here is her guardian to be Rose. They need a fast fortune.
Yes.
Which is not, when you are asking the cards, that's not, are you asking about their future in general?
Right. Gotta be
'Cause
specific
that's
here.
pretty fucking broad, especially if you were doing a 3-card spread, because usually that's like past, present, future. What do you, that's just that's just future in general? Okay, sure.
Right.
When I look at these and the way that Ferrero Rocher has written about them, I don't think that Ferrero Rocher practices tarot.
Yeah.
These feel like very cursory.
Readings. Yeah.
They feel very like someone just Googled what the
Yeah.
definitions of these mean, because when you put them all together, that is not how I would interpret them.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, here's what I want to happen to Lissa later on in this book. Let me just find cards that
What will
match
work for that? Yeah. Right.
Right. So I was like, you're pulling me out of the story here, for everything. Especially because it's like, so the moon is secrets. The Empress is like, okay, Lissa, got it. She's going to be stepping up, leading this revolution. Got it. Great. Good.
Right.
But the Ace of Cups, which is the first one that Rhonda touches, even though it's supposedly the last one in this spread, is like a new beginning, which but is supposed to be like an offer. Specifically, it's usually like an offer of love.
Okay.
And so when she's talking about like a rebirth, where are you getting that, homie? Where's that from?
Right. Hey. Excuse me.
Because usually like ace is it's a 1, so that's like it's new, sure, but like usually that's some sort of offer. And so, especially with what Ferrero Rocher has just said, I'm thinking, like, do you want, like, that would be like Christian saying, like, let's get married, or Adrian being like, fuck your boyfriend,
right?
Right?
Yeah, that seems like a more literal, like, interpretation of that.
Right. And so when Rhonda's like, you're on the verge of a new beginning, it's like, yeah, homie, she's gonna be graduating from this academy pretty soon. You could know that just based on what, like, the general context that you know about Lissa in general. Right. But okay.
I think that's so funny too in comparison to Rose's reading.
Yes, literally.
Immediately after, Rose is like, oh man, I'm gonna get a raw deal. After that, like, I don't feel very good about these. Famously, I don't know much about tarot, but I do love the meme of the Nine of Swords card. I think that's the funniest fucking card ever, of just, like, crying in front of a huge wall of swords.
It's a mood. And it's a mood for sure. It fits her very well.
It fits. She gets a lot of swords. She also gets an Ace of Swords, and then she gets
the sun reversed.
The sun reversed, yes.
Yeah.
Which she also was like, isn't that the wrong way? And she's like, no, this is all intentional excuse. And all that she tells her after all of that, after pulling all these things, is, you'll destroy that of which is undead. Which Rose is like, homie. yeah, that's kind of my whole thing. Can you give me a little bit?
Just told you that she is a guardian to be.
Right. And Lissa got, like, a whole many paragraphs of preamble about what these means, and you just give me a sentence that's already what my life is? Seems a little bit rude.
Yeah. And it's like, Rhonda, babe, I believe in you.
Yeah. I believe in your powers, girl.
I believe in you. I also do this. Now, if she had said, you will destroy that which is dead, I think Rose would have pissed her pants.
Yeah.
Because the Nine of Swords right now for Rose, very accurate, right?
Right.
That makes sense. The Ace of Swords also, that's Rose in a fucking nutshell.
Right.
Like, well, I would say more for her is, like, very, like, Knight of Swords. Like, I'm a fucking Russian.
Sure. Right.
and the sun reversed right now makes sense. But it's like, if she had said, you will destroy that which is dead, I think would have given away too much of the plot for Ferrero Rocher, to be honest.
Because my thinking going into this is that it was going to be more of a conversation about the whole Mason situation, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that seemed
That's
more
what I thought too.
Of if this is the one time where she could talk to someone and not feel like she's losing it.
Yes.
You know, the only person that would, like, understand that or, like, have any sort of guidance, you know, and won't immediately shut her down. And the fact that, like, the cards or whatever and the way that she communicated that was just like, yeah, you're gonna do guardian stuff. And she's like, I have so many other questions that you could have, like, that could have given me insight or something that I'm too afraid to ask, and maybe this would have been a way to, like, bridge the gap a little bit.
I agree. I feel like that's kind of what I get from this is that Ferrero Rocher doesn't know anything about tarot, and I think that was her attempt with doing the sun in reverse. But I think if she had done the Hanged Man there, that would have been a lot more applicable to what Rose is going through right now, of, like, I am trying to understand, I'm trying to, like, get into solace and understand what the fuck is going on right now, but I'm not able to communicate that to anyone, but I don't know that she understands tarot.
Right.
So of course Rose is like, fuck this, I don't believe any of this.
This is dumb.
You just told me literally what my job is, so great. Right. What I found incredibly interesting about this is that Ferrero Rocher decided to have Dimitri be like, hey, so flight. Which,
we gotta go.
We gotta go. But then he stays and gets a fortune.
Hello?
This is so wild and uncharacteristic for what Rose thinks Dimitri's personality is.
Right, like, very set in his way, very staunch, loves the Westerns, you know, like.
So this homie gets the Knight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Cups. Oh my God. Okay. So, very interesting. I would not say that Dimitri is a knight, but that's fine. The Five of Cups, though, love this for him. She says to Dimitri, who's taking this very seriously, love this for him, thank you for
Yeah.
respecting her craft, even
Absolutely.
though it seems like she doesn't know what she's doing, is you will lose what you value most, so treasure it while you can. And then she looks at the Wheel of Fortune, naturally, and is like, the wheel is turning, always turning. What the fuck? Is Dimitri gonna die? Like,
I'm scared.
I am. I'm scared, especially because, like, it's an interesting interpretation for those cards.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the Five of Cups is, like, feeling like loss over spilled milk, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you saying? Why are you
Hello?
Why would you use this for a Rocher as a plot device, but then, like, give nothing?
Right.
Is
Come
it
on, girl,
'cause,
give us
like-
nothing.
Like, literally, like, is it because she cannot get through? Like, can she not read spirit users? Can she not read, like, Shadow Kissed user? Like, what is that?
Right.
And I felt really bad at the end, too, when Lissa was like, so thank you. By the way, what element are you specialized in? And she was like, air. Why?
And she's like, damn it.
So this was a complete waste of time
For everyone.
for everyone involved. And so now, like, Rose doesn't believe in it. Dimitri doesn't feel great.
Right.
Even though, like, the Wheel of Fortune is fine. I mean, it just means that, like, shit's gonna happen the way it's gonna happen, and that's fine.
Right.
It's more so like the Five of Cups just saying, like, stop being sad, you little sad bitch.
You sad boy.
It's just the way that Rana interpreted those. It's like, what, ma'am? What's going on? What did you ask Spirit that you're, like, getting these answers? I just have questions about Furrow and what she Googled.
For please.
Tell me what you were trying to communicate here. But anyways, I felt personally attacked by these, but next week we have chapters 17 and 18.
Hell yeah.
And hopefully they are getting the fuck out of here. Flying
Yeah,
home
for
soon.
real. Jesus.
It's been a weird time here. It's not what they expected.
No.
We have some great patience to thank. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Katie Black.
Yay, Katie, thank you. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Thank you to Carrie Goldberg.
Thank you to Mickey Meyer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Rebecca Cullen.
Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Ooh, March. Thank you to our unofficial intern, Taylor Brown Town Modner.
Yeah. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh. Thank you to Cassandra Bomer.
Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
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 Thank you to Aaron Weber.
Ooh. Thank you to Clara Belikov.
Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh. Thank you to Hannah Dragomir.
Ooh, ooh. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Thank you to Abby Ivashkov.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Ooh. Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh. Thank you to Laura 40.
Thank you to Catherine Hathaway.
Ooh. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
And last but not least, thank you to Maria Swan.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I found a fan fiction.
Ooh.
It is titled The Diadem. And it was written by Avalon Huntress, which I hope is this person's real name.
Yes, same.
The summary is, Rose is a royal Moroi princess, last of her line after a Strigoi massacre, and heiress to the Moroi throne. When Russian god Dmitry Belikov becomes her guardian, they realize that they share a powerful magic bond that puts their lives in danger. But Strigoi are the least of their worries when they must fight through politics, revolutions, betrayals, and war for love.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. This is from chapter 2, and it's just a short little bit, and I think you will understand why I'm reading just this part. Okay. Dmitry was sent to the ancient Supreme Court of Florence at 21, where he spent 3 whole years, becoming part of the offensive Hampier group called the Hunters. He earned 14 more Zvezda marks, putting his total at surviving 20 attacks with uncountable kills, the most Zvezda marks ever earned by a Hampier, even surpassing Schoenberg's 16. At the end of his 3 years at Florence, on his 24th birthday, Dmitry returned home to Elena for the first time in 4 years, returning with 10 Monja marks and 20 Zvezda marks. His neck was more covered than Guardian's 3 times his age. That was a month and a half ago, and she could tell that her son was growing restless. You worry too much, daughter. He will find the path to his salvation today at the door, Yevda said enigmatically before walking back upstairs with her cup of tea, chuckling as she went. Some things never change. Mama is one of them. I wonder if she'll be right this time. As if on cue, there was a sudden knock on the door. Startled, Elena left the window and ran towards the door, talking rapidly to the delivery man. After 2 minutes, she glanced down at the royal envelope in her hands. She sighed. Your mama is always right, Elena. You should know by now, she thought to herself reproachfully as she walked to the door to the backyard. Dmitry, a package for you from the court of Pennsylvania, Elena said in Russian as she opened the house's back door. End scene.
Okay.
The idea of the court of Pennsylvania just
that is very
really
funny.
just makes me giggle inside.
Yeah, it's a great concept.
It's just, just so royal, so fancy. But it seems like a very interesting twist on, the old classic. So there's a lot of words there if y'all would like to read more.
Hell yeah.
Well, folks, we've given you so many TV recommendations. I would love to know if y'all are watching them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, please.
I know. But until next week, as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped cream for our chefs.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.